Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Kansas Motor Speedway. The time has finally come to finalize the 20-driver playoff field in a amazing show of driving. Marty Johnson came from 12th on the restart order as far as lead lap cars were concerned. I think he was like the 20th car in line or something because all the lap traffic at St. Joltas. And in 4 laps, he made it to the front. He held it for a full lap, and he got the win. And now he is in the playoffs, but he is not yet clinched. We'll get to why he's not clinched yet in just a minute. Let's go to the starting lineup for Heat 1. Before we get to that, Andrew Rich and Bobo Jones on the front row. Sky Commons, Eli Bright in row 2. Adam Flickinger and Joshua Sekuli, row 3. Quentin Moore, Casey Nanako in row 4 with Hunter Braxton and Marty Johnson in row 5 as we get ready to go trackside for the command to fire engines. 3 7-time heat winners in this heat.
Y'all come say it with me. Drivers, start your engine!
And it's amazing the kind of dominance Andrew Rich has held in these heat races since we came back to the United States. In a total of 8 races, he's won 5 heat races. He's won the Motordrome, Auto Club, Provo, ISM, and St. Joltas. In that 8-race span, the other heat wins are from Ryan Brommer at Vegas, and then 2 Roush cars, Jesse Turner at Armory Digital, and Adam Flickinger at Denver. Now, really quick, for Marty Johnson to clinch his playoff spot, he needs to make the main and finish 34th, or any of the following drivers DNQ: Quentin Moore, Cole Deaver, Corey Riggs, Benny Watson, or Colt Hudson. If any of those guys miss the race, they are below him in points. That would solidify Johnson in, because only 31st in the points on up is eligible to make the playoffs with a win. And out of those drivers we named, Quentin Moore in this race, Johnson's in this race himself as well, and then Cole Deaver. And those are the 3 in this race. Corey Riggs, Benny Watson, and Colt Hudson, who are at the bottom of the points, are all in heat number 2. But Rich, so far, continuing to show his dominance. Sky Commons, wow, almost turned by Adam Flickinger there. Commons holding on to second steady. Quentin Moore, man, what a run. He's challenging Bobo Jones for 5th. So Quentin Moore trying to give his team a shot. They were one of the most consistent mid-pack teams earlier in the year, and it looks like we've had an accident here in Heat 1. Indeed, Benjamin Ice, Donovan Cage, St. Beckett, and Frodemar Otts all with damage, and that should solidify everyone else into the main event. We'll have to take a look and see what exactly happened to those 4 drivers, but a decent wreck in turns 1 and 2. As Brian Tremblay gets in the wall. So maybe some cars getting in the wall here off the corners, but all 4 of those drivers are a lap down. And unless there's another accident, they will all miss out on the race. Back to the front, Quentin Moore holding strong in 5th. Braxton looking for 3rd. In front of him, it's Eli Bright charging towards teammate Andrew Rich. Rich looking to be the first driver to win 8 heat races. Teammate Hunter Braxton and competitor Jonathan Zorlin have also won 7 heat races. And now let's just look at this really closely. The only driver close to them is Dale Lightning with, I believe it's 5 heat wins. It might be 6. I'm going to take a quick run through count here. It is 6, so Lightning's at 6, and he's the next closest. Now, if you look at Heat 1, you just got to think real quickly, okay, Rich, Sorlin, and Braxton all have 7 heat wins. That's 21 of the 32 heats in Heat 1, and that just shows how much domination they've had in the heat races. But when you transfer it over to the main events, they haven't had the same level of success. Rich has only won 3 times this season, or actually 4 times this season. He's really come along here after coming back to the U.S. from the international tour as well. Lap cars in front of him. Woo! Shane Beckett came really close to taking him out there. Lightning with his 6 heat wins, also with 4 main event wins. Braxton has only won 2 main events, and Zorlin has only won 1. And Eli Bright is trying to close in on Rich, but you can see the bottom just does not have a lot of grip on corner exit. So Donovan Cage really holds up the 88 there, a full 3/10. Benjamin Ice and Frodemar Otts officially confirmed DNF for the heat race. Cage and Beckett are 3 laps down, running out of time if there's going to be another accident. But Eli Bright trying to close in. He's got the faster car than teammate Andrew Rich. Braxton in 3rd, Sekuli 4th, and aforementioned Jonathan Zorlin in 5th. So none of those drivers missing the race will lock in Marty Johnson. Oh, and this is getting really treacherous right now. Quinton Moore went around the outside. Look at Brommer diving his nose in there. Kansas could be a chaotic race with the way they're driving here in Heat 1. Meanwhile, at the front, we'll be coming to 5 laps to go. Andrew Rich still in the lead. Let's see how much tire wear he's accumulated. It's at a full second. So only hitting about 188 on the straightaways, but holding 165 in the corner, even with all this tire wear. Bright struggling in 2nd. Braxton's got a bumper full of Sekuli for 3rd. Zorlin by Cage for 4th. And it looks like we could see pit stops. Yes, Andrew Rich is going to pit early here for tires. Coming down with him is teammate Hunter Braxton. So Eli Bright will elect to stay out. Maybe take less fuel. Fitzwater, Nanako, and others from the mid-pack come down pit road with the leader. So Eli Bright in the lead. We'll see what he's able to do. Not sure what that little lag was for. And Eli Bright will actually stay out another lap. And it looks like everyone else is doing the same. Nope, Slade Jagger and Brian Tremblay will come down. It looks like it's right sides only. And now a terrible pit stop for Bobo Jones. Not sure what happened to him there. But Andrew Rich out of pit road. We'll see if taking right sides allows him to close the distance. Eli Bright will gain by taking fuel only. And here comes the 88. He's coming down pit road here to 2 to go. But Sekuli stays out. Brommer and many others as well. Zorlin comes down with the 88. We'll see now. What will the strategy call be here for Eli Bright? Is it a fuel only stop at 2 to go? We're watching Zorlin as well. Indeed, it is fuel only for these two. Coming to the white flag, Sekuli will stay out with Ryan Brommer. So making it on fuel, you can. Going for this heat win, Sekuli, who needs to win a race now. He's only got, coming in, 16 points over Samet Oskin for the last place in the standings. In that playoff grid, he's got the last place. If there's no new winner beneath him, he will make it on points. But wow, in a remarkable fuel strategy effort, it will be Joshua Sekuli winning Heat 1. And that is Sekuli's first Heat win on the season. What a interesting turn of events here in Heat number 1. And you see only 8 cars finishing the heat out. And possible problems for Braxton, who's 2 laps down. Is that going to kick him out of the race? We're waiting. We're still on standby. Nope. Results are official. It's Cage, Beckett, Ice, and Otts out of the race. Braxton coming close by about a lap. But Sekuli wins Heat 1, so I'll see you for Heat 2. I almost forgot to look at the wreck here that occurred on lap 3. Frodemar's on the apron through the tri-oval, and he comes back on the track, and he's just still too low, and he's going to take a, I don't know if he had a problem or what, but he goes on the apron here, and he's still going too fast. And yep, he's just going to slide right back up, and look how close Marty Johnson was to get involved in this. Right there, Beckett hits the 28. Ooh, man. Cage and Ice nowhere to go. If Johnson was 0.2 of a second back, he would have got clipped in that. And that could have made things very interesting. But he makes the main event. These four don't. And with that, we'll see you for Heat 2. Welcome back to Kansas. Here's your starting lineup for Heat number 2. Alan Cavanero and Johnny Gardner on the front row. Gardner has missed the last 2 races, but he is locked in on points nonetheless in the playoffs. Hopefully he can make the main event here for Kansas, though. You want to get some momentum going into the playoffs. Dale Lightning and Seth Cole will start in row 2. RJ Bishop, Dylan Young, row 3. Matthew Logan ends on the rest of row 4 with Audra Barrianauskas and Nico Tringali in row 5. If any of these 3 drivers, Corey Riggs, Benny Watson, or Colt Hudson, miss this race, it will officially lock Marty Johnson into the playoff field. And that will leave just Joshua Sekuli fighting out for that last spot on points, or any of the not mentioned yet drivers for that win. And I might as well mention those drivers now that were in Heat number 2, and they are Casey Nanako, Zachary Fitzwater Sr., Alan Cavanero, Adam Flickinger, Jesse Turner, Quinton Moore, Cole Deaver, Corey Riggs, Benny Watson, and Colt Hudson. All must win if they want to make the playoffs. They must win the main event. Out of those, nobody missed from Heat 1. Drivers in Heat 1 were, I believe, Turner, Moore, Deaver, and Nanako and Fitzwater. We've got Cavanero on pole here. Adam Flickinger's in this race. Or was Flickinger's in Heat 1 too, so Flickinger's already done. It's just Cavi, Riggs, Watson, and Hudson. As a reminder, Cavanero and Seth Cole have made every race so far this season. Fitzwater and Braxton continue that by racing their way in here to Kansas. And now if you're in the playoffs, you are automatically locked into every race for the time frame that you are a playoff driver. And man, that top side is going to be huge, it looks like, at this racetrack. It's kind of even with the bottom off of turn 4. Ooh, Hudson on the apron there. That's dangerous. It looks like turn 1, you definitely want to be on the bottom, but for turns 3 and 4, the top is kind of a thing. Ooh, Logan, it looked like might have got some contact off of Bishop. Ooh, and there's 3 wide in the back here. Seth Cole, one of the guys who's made every race. And again, if you make the playoffs, you're locked into every race. Now, we'll still have heat races, and the playoff drivers will still be in there because you know they got to race for those heat wins to be on the front row. So drivers like Seth Cole, Hunter Braxton, they have locked themselves into the first round of the playoffs for now, so they are guaranteed to make all 4 of the round 1 races. However, Fitzwater and Cavanero, who aren't in the playoffs right now, they're in murky water right now. They will still have to race in every race. Now, will we keep track on whether Seth Cole or Braxton fall outside the top 20 in the heat races? Of course, because then it will be, well, yeah, they made every race, but they had to fall back on their chase lock to make it. So that will be an aspect to look at. Meanwhile, Matthew Logan is trying to track down Alan Cavanero. Cavanero looking for what would be his 3rd heat win of the season. Matthew Logan last won a heat race back at Yas Marina, and he's got a total of 3 heat wins on the season. Cavanero in a must-win position if he will make the playoffs with teammates Sky Commons and Enzo Nereza, who have not won races this season. Cavanero has been the one struggling out of Joe Gibbs Racing. See if this is the night he'll turn it around. Joshua Sekuli used strategy to win his heat race. It looks like if you're in the draft, you save fuel at this track. We saw Andrew Rich and a few others pit on lap 10, and then Eli Bright and Zorlin came down 2 laps later, but everyone else stayed out. We had a total of 8 cars make it on fuel from Heat 1. We'll see if that's the case here in Heat 2. We have not had an accident in Heat 2. It's been the flip-flop. Usually Heat 2 is the wreck for the Heat, but in this case it's been Heat 1. And now we mentioned it, drivers that if they don't make the race would lock in Marty Johnson, and you're looking at one of them right there in the 36 of Benny Watson. Gardner still having his difficulties. He started second. He's fallen to 22nd. Now he's looking to go 3 wide here. As that 3 wide disappears, Voiles will go from 20th to 23rd. That puts Watson in the race as he looks to pass Anderson for 19th. He will. Oskin has faltered to the back. He's trying to make the race to even have a chance at this. If he misses, it'll be Sekuli in on points unless someone wins the race. Watson pinning Oskin to the inside line. Gardner's right behind him. As Cavanero is getting raced by Matthew Logan for the race lead. Back up to the front we will go. Corey Riggs having a pretty good heat run in 6th. Hudson in 10th. And Logan all over the bumper. Cavanero will take 5 to go this time by. And you got to wonder, will anyone come in at 10 to go from the front of the field? Baran-Oscus making her way through the field again. And there goes Matthew Logan to the lead here in heat race number 2. Looking for a heat win 4 on the season. Baran-Oscus, who is starting to catch these drivers, has won 5 heat races this season. And Matthew Logan will actually be the guy to dip here on lap 10, not Alan Cavanero. So Cavi stays out. Seth Cole will come to pit road. And now this could be a dangerous strategy. Hudson's down and Voiles is down. So only 4 cars pit this time on lap 10. If other people can make it, what you do right now is you risk missing the race, because if you're taking on more fuel, you're going to lose time every time. Cavanero continues to stay on the racetrack, as do many others. So just like, Benny Watson will come down. So Watson's the lone driver coming to lap 12 to hit pit road. Now the question is, can Cavi hold on? Dale Lightning's coming up in 3rd. He would like heat win number 7. Coming to 2 to go. Does Cavi have to pit? Nope, he's staying out. And it looks like everyone else is staying out too. Lucas Catano will come down pit road. And we didn't mention it, but Matthew Logan's in the battle for the regular season championship. It's another 5 playoff points, and if he misses this race, he could kiss that goodbye. Does Cavanero pit coming to the white? The answer is a big fat no. No one is going to pit coming to the white. And this could hurt Matthew Logan, because right now, I think he's out. No, he's in. He's the first guy in. Alan Cavanero and Joshua Sekuli, what a pair to win some heat races here tonight at Kansas. And that will indeed be the case. Alan Cavanero and Joshua Sekuli on the front row at Kansas. Cavi wins heat number 2. Lucas Catano came to pit road late, but it does not look like he will make the event. It will be Matthew Logan and Seth Cole getting the last position. So it looked like Seth Cole was going to miss out on his first race all season. He barely keeps it in here. And that sets the field. Missing out will be Colt Hudson, Daniel Voiles, Benny Watson, and Lucas Catano. And the fact that Hudson and Watson will miss this race, he only needed one driver to miss the race, but in this case, two of them missed. And that secures Marty Johnson's playoff berth via the win. So right now, before we go to the main event in an hour and a half, I'll tell you right now, this is your current playoff field. Matthew Logan, Audra Baranowskis, Dale Lightning, Andrew Rich, Hunter Braxton, Eli Bright, Dylan Young, Jonathan Zorlin, Ryan Brommer, Seth Cole, Nico Tringali, Bobo Jones, the entire top 12 in points, all winners. 16th in points, James Ellison. 19th, RJ Bishop. 20th, Edwin Mendez. And coming in 26th, Marty Johnson. Since Marty made the race and Hudson and Watson missed, it's impossible for him to fall outside of the top 30. So he therefore clinches his spot in the playoff field. What a resurgence by a team of Marty Johnsons. They started the year doing terrible, and they've just worked week in and week out, and now they are officially a playoff team. The other three drivers currently locked in are locked in on points. 13th in points, Sky Commons. 14th, Johnny Gardner. And 15th, Enzo Nareza. As mentioned, Joshua Sekuli with a 16-point buffer over Samet Oskin. Now, on top of that, Sekuli will have to finish a certain amount better than Oskin. I should actually probably figure out what position he has to finish without Oskin winning the race for Sekuli to make it on points. I'll figure that out off camera before the main event. But the following drivers who have made the event must win to make the playoffs. It would bump out Sekuli or Oskin depending who's running where. But these are the 8 drivers. These are the 8 drivers that must win later tonight if they want to make the playoffs, and they are Casey Nanako, Zachary Fitzwater Sr., Alan Cavanero, who will be on the front row, by the way, Adam Flickinger, Jesse Turner, Quinton Moore, Cole Deaver, or Corey Riggs. Those are the 8 drivers that must win. Once again, your regular season title fight is between Matthew Logan, Audra Baranowskis, Dale Lightning, and Andrew Rich, all 4 of which made the show. With that said, I will see you guys later for the main event. Heat 2 was nice and clean. Congrats on the win to Alan Cavanero, his 3rd heat win of the season, and the finale for the regular season is going to be incredible.